In the past few decades, the world of Final Fantasy has gone to space and beyond. Literally. From humble beginnings on the Nintendo Entertainment System to the latest installment on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, Final Fantasy XIII brings the franchise to a new and beautiful look and feel. A cast of characters with a hidden past somehow find their way onto a train in which the dreaded l'Cie have taken over on a purge. The only way to survive is by fighting their way out of a sticky situation. One girl is the cause of all this. She has fulfilled her focus and has given them theirs. It is their mission to protect Cocoon at all costs. Can they band together and save the world, or will their goals separate them completely? Any fan of Final Fantasy knows what to expect out of the gameplay. It hasn't changed much over the years. Upgrade systems and a few items have worked their way into the better part of the series. By all accounts, this one is a departure from the traditional Final Fantasy gameplay that we have grown to know and love. In Final Fantasy XIII, Square Enix have updated and upgraded the combat system in ways that it not only makes it comfortable to use, but enjoyable to play as well. You control one character and the other two are on autopilot. Fans may not enjoy this as much, but for you non-believers, you get to play as every character throughout the game. So if you prefer playing as Zas over Hope, guess what? You get to play as Zas. I was very pleased with the Crystarium upgrade system as well. In previous upgrade systems, things could get often confusing on the way to your final choice. In the Crystarium, you go onto a linear upgrade path. Granted, there are a few side upgrades you can get, but those are worth it. You earn CP, and you can put this towards the Crystarium upgrades. Weapon upgrades are simple as well. A few changes were added that I personally was not a fan of. The lack of the markets you can visit is a big one. I remember going to Wall Market in Final Fantasy VII and buying new mantra and weapons and all sorts of other things. Everything is done via the save point in this game. It's quite a shame. It really is. Those are more personal touches that some folks might enjoy the new look on shopping. I, however, do not. Another minor but important gameplay mechanic that I loved is potions and Phoenix Downs. They do not count towards your allotted time during combat. This is a huge plus because if you're running without a medic, curing yourself can be a pain. Paradigms are another new mechanic in Final Fantasy XIII. You can shift on the fly to a completely different class that your characters have, and it makes combat completely different. A Ravager and Commando can be tearing apart the bad guys while a medic is curing everyone. It makes combat 10 times better than in previous titles of the series. Final Fantasy has always been known for its style and design when it comes to levels, worlds, and characters. Final Fantasy XIII looks fantastic. The near-seamless cuts from in-game graphics to the CGI cinematics are breathtaking. The character look and feel are as real as they possibly can, given the world that is presented. Facial skin tone and depth to the look bring these characters to life. So you can see blemishes, you can see lines, all that good stuff. It makes it very true to life. The environments and level design have been taken up a notch as well. It's rather difficult to explore in such a linear gameplay, but if you do stop and take a look, you will be surprised on how detailed the textures and structures are. Each creature is distinct and recognizable from one another. Not to say they didn't reskin each creature here and there, but for the most part, the enemies in the game are very well done. As a whole, Final Fantasy XIII is the best looking in the graphics department so far.
One of them.
The sound design in Final Fantasy XIII is pretty good. The score can be hit or miss sometimes, and at some points it's pulsing with rhythm and heart, and then the next scene it takes you completely out of the story. I guess this is what happens when Nobuyo Uematsu doesn't do a score for a Final Fantasy game. Nothing against this new guy, but it wasn't consistent. Now the voice acting, on the other hand, is done very well. A few characters can be quite annoying at times, but it's tolerable. For example, characters like Vanille and Hope can get super bubbly and emo at times, and it just presents you with an earache.
1, 2, 3, we go.
What are you up to? Hey!
The sound design, on the other hand, is very well done. Ambient noises and footsteps are very well crafted in this game. Overall, the sound is pretty good. The control layout is very simple and for the most part unchanged from previous titles. My only gripe with the controls is the camera movement. It is very unresponsive. When you're walking around and you want the camera to rotate left or right, it sometimes doesn't move as fast as you want it to, or it moves so fast that it gives you an odd camera angle. Other than the laggy camera, the controls are near perfect. The paradigm button layouts, menu navigation, and combat controls are all simplified. It would be hard to be confused by the controls in Final Fantasy XIII. Final Fantasy games are not for everyone, but for those of you out there who enjoy them, I think you will be surprised with its dedication, look, and vibe, which are all spectacular. Audio can be a bit of an issue, as well as some of the controls, but it shouldn't deter you away from it. Is Final Fantasy XIII a perfect game? No. Is it close to perfection? No. Is it a fun game that deserves your attention and love? Yes. Final Fantasy XIII is a game that belongs in the upper echelon of the franchise. It's a beautiful looking game with an engaging story, and that's all that needed to be delivered. And guess what? Final Fantasy XIII delivers more than you expect. That is why I'm giving Final Fantasy XIII an 8.5 out of 10.